Hi everybody. This is going to be a quick start guide for using the Azure Key Vault resource. If you're looking for something specific, check the time codes in the description and I'll have those linked. Also, I'll have links to the sites I use as references while putting this guide together in the description as well. So let's get into it. So what is Azure Key Vault? Azure Key Vault's a cloud service for securely storing and accessing secrets. This is something I pulled directly off the learn.microsoft.com site. Essentially, it is a way to store your database connection strings, your passwords, your API keys, things of that nature in kind of a name value kind of pair system. So it's very straightforward and easy once you get into it. But that is the crux of it. So the question becomes, why should you use Azure Key Vault? The main reasons I use Key Vault are for security and for ease of maintenance. I typically have a Key Vault set up for development purposes. Doing this allows me to keep all my passwords, connection strings, API keys, etc. in one place. And when they need to be updated, it's a quick, short process. It does not require changes in each separate application or redeployments of any of my applications. So the requirements to set up an Azure Key Vault. You'll need just the basic free Azure subscription. You're not going to sink any money into this. And then you'll also need the resource group container to create the vault in. But that's it. That's all you need to set up your Key Vault. How do you create an Azure Key Vault? Uh, it's very simple. You can go through the web UI in the Azure portal. It's as simple as clicking through the create resource wizard and selecting the Key Vault resource and just kind of going through filling out the form for that. And then, which is kind of the way I recommend to do it the first time you're setting it up, just to kind of see what you're doing or see what is happening. And then the second way to do it is through just the Azure command line interface PowerShell. You can do this directly in the Azure portal through the command line interface, or you can hop over to VS Code and just you need to download and install the Azure CLI tools extension that Microsoft puts out, but you can also run the command here as well. So once you have the extension installed, you can open a new terminal window, and then over on the right side, you have the option of creating an Azure Cloud Shell kind of instance. This will connect you to your account that you've already signed into, or it'll require you to log in either one. But then whenever the prompt comes up, all you have to do is just type in the quick one line for creating the Key Vault. Here I've already done it as a test, obviously, but now let's run it again just to see what it actually looks like. It does take a little bit of time to communicate, but then come back. This was actually relatively fast. As I said, I'd been testing it, and it took a few times to get it to return in a timely manner for me earlier, but that is the cloud. All right, so let's take a look at the application that I've built to connect to my Azure Key Vault, just as an example to show you how this all works. This is set up through Visual Studio. There are a couple of prerequisites that I think I mentioned earlier. First, you do need to specify your environmental variables, through the properties of the application in Visual Studio. They're all right here, the tenant ID, the client secret, and the client ID. You will also need a couple of NuGet packages. You're going to need Azure Identity to actually connect to Azure, and then Key Vault has its own specific NuGet package as well. Details around that are in the description below, so look there if you need the links. And then for the actual application itself, this is just a simple console application. All it does is connect to my Key Vault. It updates 3 different secrets that I have specified there, and then it goes out and gets those values and spits them back out into the console window. So what you need to actually connect is you're going to need your Key Vault name here, and then this line here actually creates the client for connecting to your Key Vault. So what you're doing is creating a new secret client. You're passing in the URL of your Key Vault itself as the first parameter, your Vault URI, and then your credential is called the default Azure credential. That simply pulls from the three environmental variables that we specified earlier, that tenant ID, the client ID, and client secret. Um, whenever you host an application out in Azure, you're also going to have those specified somewhere as well. Whether it's an Azure App Service or a VM, you will have that, that information specified somewhere that the application is able to pick up on. So after you've connected, what I've done is I've updated 3 different secrets. It's the same line for all of them. You're setting the secret using the name and then the value you would like. And then after I've done that, all I'm doing is connecting again and getting that secret out and then spitting the value of it back out onto the screen. So we're doing this with all asynchronous methods because, it is 2023. But if you don't have that option, you still have the regular methods as well. You don't have to do them asynchronously if that is just, a deal breaker for you for some reason. And when we run this, we should get a nice window. Yep, there are my 3 key value pairs at the top, and that is how I connected to the Key Vault. Thanks for watching this video. If you did find it helpful, please like it and leave suggestions for any other topics you'd like me to cover in the comments. Thanks.